Getting ready to get into bed with Joan. My strategy for a long time has been to fuck my way to the middle. And tonight, it's very possible.
I'm Joan Rivers. The show is called In Bed With Joan. So please help me welcome someone I think is in the closet. Let's see if I'm right. Hello? I'm right! Greg Fitzsimmons! All right. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Oh.
We were trying to figure out what to call you. Are you a writer? Are you a comedian? Are you a stand-up? And then someone said, he's a comics comic. Nice. What is a comics comic?
God, I hate that.
Yeah.
That means that you're a comic that's making the back of the room laugh.
Yes, yes.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to make people laugh. I think it's a nice compliment that comedians respect you, but I don't give a shit. I need to put asses in seats on the road.
Well, also, they respect you as long as you're not doing as well as they are.
Right. There's the biggest backhanded compliment I've ever gotten.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rodney Dangerfield never liked anyone that filled the room more than he did.
Right.
And he was very vocal about it.
Yeah.
You were funny until you did better than he did. Not funny anymore.
Yeah. Well,
did you know him?
No.
He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And I think he's the most stolen from comedian because, well, I guess like you, his jokes. Well, no, I mean because you have jokes. Very few comics have setup, punchline, bam. This will work for fucking anybody because it's so good. So you get stolen from.
Yeah, and it just makes you work harder.
Yeah.
I mean, I never. Do you ever stop? Do you ever say, I'm going to leave it alone for a year?
No.
Yeah.
25 years. Somebody just asked me that today. What's the longest I've gone? It's probably 2 to 3 weeks, and that's rare.
Who asked you that?
I did a podcast with Joe Rogan today.
Aren't you busy?
Thank you. 3 hours.
Thank you very much for bringing on someone that's slightly used.
Not only that, but if you do Rogan's podcast, it's 3 hours long, and he smokes pot the whole time. So I got secondhand high, which I'm over now, but I'm a little bit.
3 hours?
3 hours without a break.
And then why?
I have a podcast also, and
how long is yours?
mine's like an hour and 15 minutes.
That's enough.
Yeah, it feels like it's about right.
Yeah.
And it depends on the guest. I'm sure it's like yours. There's some people you feel like, not that it wasn't a good interview, but it feels over at 20 minutes.
I get it. I get
it.
it.
Yeah.
Well, you've been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Such a setup. Such a setup. You have how many Emmys?
I'm so intimidated right now, by the way.
Oh, then you're out of your mind.
No, people blow smoke up your ass all the time, but I want to put you under these covers and fucking hammer you right now.
Yeah.
I have always had this crush on you.
May I tell you something?
I think you're sexy and funny, and
I'm going to tell you something. There's no waiting line. You can show up here anytime, day and night. Trust me, there's no such thing as take a towel, wait your turn.
One of those hand lotion things.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
4 Emmys.
4 Emmys.
What did you get the Emmys for? Emmys, 4.
Well, daytime Emmys. They were for the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Now what's funny in the Ellen DeGeneres show? She doesn't do jokes, Ellen. She comes out and she's nice.
I wrote the dance.
Watch me get out of this one. Brilliant. Brilliant. But so you just tell her you should talk about this and talk about that, and then you tell her funny things?
Yeah, it was. Plus, there's segments. You know, you have games, and there's always shit to write on a show. I mean, that's the thing about you. You've hosted a talk show. It's like everything is written from this guest interviews.
Tell them. See, tell them.
To write.
Bethany didn't just happen. Ellen should have lent you to her.
They do move people around. If you work on Ellen, then they would have sent you over to Tyra. There was a few shows that came out
Tyra's
after
another
that.
fun person.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's literally like, you know, you never forget for a second that you're watching a model hosting a show.
But you know that's good.
Yeah.
Because you know where you are.
Right.
Dr. Phil, you don't know, are you watching a fat guy? Are you watching someone who really is a doctor? Are you watching a total asshole? I find someone with no hair should not give advice. I don't know why.
I agree. I mean, I feel like, I have nothing to say to anybody. I'm a failure. I got kicked out of bed by Joan Rivers.
When did you lose your hair?
About 31. My agent called me up and said, we have an audition for you to go in. It's for Rogaine. And I was like 29. And I go, why would I go in for a Rogaine commercial? And he goes, just go in. And I book it. And I'm like, how can I book? And I really didn't think my hair was falling out. And so I said, well, I don't know if I want to be the guy. I was just starting to, make a little bit of a name for myself. I go, I don't want to be the Rogaine guy. He goes, I know he's going to see it. It's going to be on like ESPN3 a couple times. And so I do it. Super Bowl. Me holding Rogaine. And I look up at the camera and I go, 3 out of 4. I like my chances. And every man I knew in my life was screaming that at me for the next 5 years. Yeah.
How much money did you make?
Enough to make health. I needed health insurance. I just got married, so it was enough to qualify for health insurance.
Are you still married?
Oh, yeah.
That's comics stay married.
Do they?
Do you know what I'm saying? Singers don't.
Yeah,
Most of the
that's
comics
true.
I know, unless you married Roseanne Barr or somebody.
Right.
Comics that marry comics.
Right. That's bad.
That's bad. But comics stay married a lot.
Yeah.
On your show, who have you had on that's been a surprise and who have you had on that's been a disappointment? And they can still be wonderful.
Right.
But you just go, oh.
Right.
Meryl Streep isn't funny.
Right.
Or whatever.
I would say surprise in a good way. John Hamm.
I heard he's built like. Did you see anything? Did you go to the bathroom with him later? No, I'm not saying that, but I've heard from friends that he is majorly built.
He's built well.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen him. I was at a party with Sarah Silverman had a party.
Who I love.
She was your first guest ever on this.
Yeah.
So I go to the party, and my wife loves Johnny. We watch Mad Men. I think she's finger blasting herself while she's watching. And so all of a sudden, John Hamm walks up to me at this party, and he gives me a hug, and he goes, "Greg, how you doing?" And I literally said, "Do I know you?" And he goes, "John from the Improv, Julie Goldberg, we're all friends." And I was like, "You're that John?"
He was from the Improv?
I knew him as a guy who hung out at the Improv Comedy Club, but I didn't know he looks different on TV. And it was two different guys.
He jumped over into something real.
Right.
That's amazing.
So my wife was like, holy shit. And so then he came on my radio show and was hilarious.
And so what does he want to do after this is over? Go back and be funny? You know, comedians want to be actors and actors want to be comedians.
Well, no, when I met him, he wasn't a comedian. He loved comedy, so he hung out at the clubs. He just hung. He was kind of like one of those annoying guys that hangs around clubs.
Oh, I hate that.
God.
Yeah.
Because if people like us and we don't like ourselves, we feel like they're freaks.
And who are you to hang around and you think by hanging around me, you're going to get funny? You're not going to get funny. Take your big schlong and go somewhere else.
Oh, you heard that too?
That's what I was talking about.
No shit.
Yeah, that's why I said you weren't following me.
No, I thought you were talking about his physique. I didn't know you meant his penis.
No, he apparently is very well endowed.
Well, I am as well.
Could you? I'm not asking you. Do what you wish, but there's a camera. Prove it.
Larry?
No! I'm out of this conversation.
Let's talk about you. Who influenced you growing up? How old are you now, ish?
I'm 47.
Okay.
And I would say you influenced me. My mother, you were my parents' favorite comedian. They used to go down and see you in the Village. So they pounded you into my head, and I was like, all right, this is...
And who else? Who are the men?
Bob Newhart.
Great.
I loved the silences. I liked his ability to just keep it so small and get the same... I always loved the equation of minimal effort, maximum laughs, as opposed to like Robin Williams, you're chasing it. You're jumping up and down he's talented and brilliant, but for me, I prefer the people that could do it small, Yes. Carlin, obviously.
Carlin.
Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks.
Is that my voice?
No, I'm doing it small. No.
I never saw your genius until right now. Wow.
Bill Hicks, Carlin, who else?
So little.
But I'm getting mad. whole room is laughing now. I'm laughing because you've never seen my act.
No, but that's different.
I make Mick Jagger look like a paraplegic. I am all over the fucking stage.
Yeah, but it's your voice. You're in a voice. You're a person. It's not doing like, here's my gay character, here's my black character. That to me is
that
uninteresting.
my friend Larry Ambrose, who knows you for a long time, said of all the people he knew as stand-ups, you were a great heckler stopper.
Thank you, Larry, first of all. But yeah, I think I started in Boston. I'm from New York, but I started when I was in college in Boston. And it was a very rowdy saloon town to do stand-up in. So if you couldn't deal with hecklers, you were not going to make a living in Boston. So it was like, you're at the Bill Ricken 99 Sports Club, and guys are, there's a fucking Bruins game going on over your shoulder, and they're like, get out of the way, you retard, I can't see the game. And you have to wrangle them in, you have to humiliate them, and meanwhile, you have no material because you're just starting out.
Right.
So that becomes your strength. That's all you got. And then you start to hope there are hecklers because you don't have enough material to cover 30 minutes.
Right.
And then you get to New York, and then at the time I came to New York, Larry was, one of the kingpins working the clubs, and it was the same thing. If you had 6 people show up one night, they're not going to listen to you do written material. So you have to start to interact with them a little bit. And then it just becomes, I think it just becomes a confidence thing.
What about your book? Tell about your book. So you're not just here for nothing.
Right. Well, the book is my mother. I got in a lot of trouble growing up. I was born 100% Irish, Bronx Irish, did the opposite of what I was told to do.
How many kids in the family?
3 in mine, 7 in my mom's. All my cousins had like 7 each. My parents showed some restraint.
Oh, so just 3 in yours?
3 of us.
And you were the bad one?
Yeah.
Or the wild one?
Well, I wasn't like a mean, bad kid. I just partied a lot, and I used to get arrested a lot as a teenager, and a lot of letters home from school, and, substance abuse. So basically, my mother started saving every bad report card, every behavior report, clippings from the newspaper when I'd been arrested. And I was in my aunt's basement in the Bronx about 7 or 8 years ago, and I found this box with all these reports in it. And I was like, what psycho would save this shit? And so I realized, these are chapters of a book. Each one of these is a story. And so I sat down, and we sold it to Simon Schuster, and then I sat down and I spent about a year writing about how I just had been trained to do the opposite of what I've been told to do my whole life. And it sort of ends with now my kids are exactly the same way. When they come home with bad reports, we sit around and we laugh about it and encourage them.
What did you do to get arrested?
Fighting. I got arrested 3 times for fighting in bars. And look at me.
That's great.
Look at the size.
That's great.
That's a bad move.
That's great. Now, talking of mistakes, we have a section called I'm Sorry.
Okay.
And we would like you to look right into the camera, if you could. Name the name, someone that you're sorry you did something to as a child or as an adult.
I want to say I used to caddy at a country club, and I weighed about 78 pounds, and I would have to carry bags that weighed about 125 pounds. And there was this old guy, Dr. Angelilli, who was an alcoholic and who filled his golf bag with old golf balls. So I was like, my back was going out. I was having an asthma attack. And so I used to go into the woods, and I would throw all of his golf balls away, and I threw away 2 of his clubs to make it lighter. And Dr. Angelilli, you're dead. But if you were alive, I would say I'm sorry.
Now we have the opposite. You've just apologized. It was beautiful.
Right.
Who was there you want to tell off? Who was somebody that was treated you badly that you want to say, ha ha, look where I am now?
I want to talk to Sheldon Davis, who used to book comedy rooms in Boston. And when I was first coming up, he came in and he saw me. You saw me bomb, okay? I was new. And 5 years later, you still wouldn't book me in your rooms because you couldn't bother to come out and see me a second time. Guess what? I'm in bed with Joan Rivers right now. You know Joan Rivers? Yeah. Where are you? You're in fucking Weyburn, Massachusetts, sitting in a 1-story with stucco on it. You're freezing your balls off. You can't afford a vacation. Why? Because you didn't cash in on me when you had a chance. You piece of shit. Sit on it. What is it? Fucking sit on it.
And rotate.
And rotate.
That was great. Yeah. Melissa has a segment where she will ask you questions and you have to choose.
I choose which one dies and
Yes,
which one
and
lives?
why.
And why?
Okay.
Okay. Christina or Brittany?
Oh, Brittany lives because I have donated a lot of protein to that cause. and she must stay around.
Confession or living with guilt?
Oh, I'm Catholic. Absolutely confession.
Stays.
It stays because I quit drinking 25 years ago. If I were to drink, I would tell people. People know that. My wife knows I could not cheat on her and look her in the eye. You raise a Catholic, take them to confession a lot, and they may not be happy, but you can count on them.
Okay. Pope Francis or Kerry Washington's character on Scandal, Olivia Pope?
I told you I'm Catholic, so obviously I got to go with the Pope on this one. But here's what's great. You know the world is fucked up when the Pope is actually getting criticized by the Republicans now. Like, they are attacking the Pope because he wants poor people to be taken care of better. It's like he talks about, the Pope is literally talking about economics at a high level. He's talking about supply side economics, trickle down, how evil it is. And so all of a sudden Fox News has got its crosshairs on the Pope. And I always thought that whole thing about trickle down economics, like, I've never been poor, thank God.
But you don't have staff.
Yeah, right. I forgot I was.
It's degrees.
Right. For Beverly Hills right now, I'm impoverished.
Yes.
But I always thought the whole idea of trickle-down economics is funny because if you're poor, you're being told, we're giving tax breaks to the rich. They're going to get the money, but just wait. It's going to trickle down to you. Just hang out for a little while. They're going to drink some more champagne. Then there's going to be a little trickle coming down. Just keep your heads back and your mouths open, and just wait for that trickle.
Yeah.
So you want some more champagne?
What's your point, Greg? What's your point?
Did your politics change as you became wealthy?
You're fucking right, it did.
Did they really?
Oh, please. The homeless. I don't like homeless. And if you live in a box, fix it up. There's no reason if it's a box you can't hang a picture.
It's true. It's true. It's this. Are there prizes for this kind of humanitarian? There must be.
People think I don't know. I feel. We had the cold weather in New York. Yeah. I felt it. People say, yes, coming from my foyer to my limo, I felt for the poor people without coats.
In that moment.
Right. I almost said, I'll give this, but then it was fur. They would appreciate it. This was a pleasure having you on. What a joy. Everyone says how great you are, and you're just wonderful.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Honor to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg Fitzsimmons, everybody. Thank you so much. And would you do us the honor? We clap it out. We have a clapper. So would you clap out?
Turn out the lights.
Honestly, Joan Rivers is one of my idols, and I was nervous that I was going to be in bed with her like this, but I feel like the ejaculation was smooth.
I really enjoyed having Greg Fitzsimmons in bed with me because I have not been in bed with an Irish Catholic man since, I hate to tell you how long ago, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. We had this big steamy affair while he was president, and then he just dropped me. I don't know what I did. He said, I'll see you after the weekend. I'm going to Dallas, and I'll call you Monday. Nothing. Let me know who you'd like to see in bed with me. You can do it by sending me a message on Facebook or Twitter.